Hey ladies, it's the PPP Podcast with your host Moneyy, the lounge for the poised, paid, and prospering woman. Has everything you need in female entrepreneurism. In the lounge, let me take you through my sizable risks, tremendous rewards, and greatest challenges that established my career, as well as the balance I had to initiate while still remaining poised, paid, and prosperous. Female-ran enterprises are steadily growing all over the world, contributing to household incomes and the growth of national economies. I will walk us through the successes of the fashion, apparel, and retail industries at the highest levels. Grow with me, ladies. Without further delay, here's another amazing episode of the PPP Podcast. Okay, welcome you guys. Welcome back to the PPP Podcast. And today, you guys, we are going to discuss, drum roll please. Today, we are going to discuss building a brand in a crowded marketplace. Okay, and basically, just some tips on, how you go about that. And typically we tend to dive deep anyways into, different topics, but today it's going to be talking about getting in where you fit in a marketplace that is crowded or oversaturated. Because I really just want people to know that every lane is going to be, for the most part, crowded. Like we talked about this on the last two pods. There's room for you. If it's for you, it's going to be for you. So yeah. First thing first, you would have to define your unique value proposition, right? So clearly articulate what sets you and your brand apart from your competition. And remember, all competition, all people that's in your market isn't necessarily your competition, right? So basically just highlight what makes your products or services unique and why customers should choose you, right? Because the market is saturated. So like if you were selling face products, skincare products, right? You have to set yourself up, your unique value proposition, your UVP, like what makes you different from I don't know what. There are so many different face products. You just basically have to set yourself from the next person that's doing the same thing as you, and sell yourself. Like sell yourself to your client, whomever it is, whichever type of skin it is, or if you're tackling all skins, dry skin or oily skin, mix. You have to be able to define that value, right? That unique value that sets you apart. The next thing is know your audience. Like I just said, who is a skincare going to be for? Men or women or children or teenagers or puberty or older? Like you have to know who your audience is from. If it's for all, then hey, nothing is wrong with your skincare being for everyone. Like if you have a product that is for the world and for all ages, all genders, all nationalities, kudos to you because hey, that's a money maker. Anybody could use it. Everybody needs it. So understanding your ideal customer needs, preferences, and pain points. I've explained this before on previous pods, but that's super, super important. Tailor your brand and branding, messaging to resonate with them specifically. So when I say that, like, if it's why, right, then, you would pick something that's for everyone. But like if you're targeting, teenagers and you're going to pick something that would directly relate to them. You get what I'm saying? So knowing your audience is super, super important with any business, and whether it's an oversaturated market or not, just building that brand, you need to know your audience, like I previously said before. So then the next thing would be create a strong brand identity, right? What is going to make you stand out from the next person? How are you different? What makes a person want to buy from you and not the other person? It can't just be like, it can be, your prices, but, deeper than that, your purpose, your product values, your values as the owner and the creator. Also, just like the time, the energy, the effort, just things that will, as you as a consumer would choose to buy from someone else, opposed to the next person, if that makes sense. Like, I always say this, right? I could be selling the same thing. You could put a person next to me that's selling the exact same thing as me. And they could even be selling it possibly, $2 to $5 cheaper than I am. But they're not going to sell it the way I am. Their aura is not mine. Their energy is not mine. So, when people buy products, they feel like they're also buying you. So you have to be able to, build that strong brand identity. So basically, develop a memorable and cohesive brand identity that includes a well-designed logo, color scheme, and your font and imagery, right? Consistency in branding helps build recognition. So I actually seen someone on Instagram talking about this, like when you make your brand a certain way, then people will remember you. Like they remember this color scheme, they remember this font, they remember this type of structure because it's for your brand. It's your identity of your brand. So my logo is black and gold. Yeah, it's black and gold. But when you go inside of my stores, all my fixtures are gold. Um, there's my wallpaper is gold, but then I have a hint of green. So then one of my other locations, the walls are green, the furniture is black, and everything is gold, the decor. So it's like, I think my colors would technically be gold, black, and green. Because that's just what it is. That's the colors I like. And that's just, I feel like my brand identity for the most part, if you've been inside of my stores and on my online presence, is definitely gold and black for sure. So then the next thing is share your story. Tell your story, behind your brand. Explain the mission, right? The values, the journey that led you to create your business. Like, give them the inside scoop because a lot of people, again, feel like they are buying you when they're buying your products. So make sure you are, letting the world know, especially now more than ever. Because like I told you guys, excuse me, on other pods, like, me having a podcast is actually kind of like my way of, it's an outlet for me, but it's my way of connecting with people that want to know, what I go through and what I've been through. It's a way to, just let people in. Because, social media, it makes people want to be in your life, in your business. They want to know things about you and what you have going on, especially as an entrepreneur. So, letting people know why you created a business or what led you to do it or what inspired you, obviously, would help them want to spend their money with you. Authentic storytelling can create emotional connection with your customers. Letting someone know what started your journey and how you started it will definitely, especially it can relate to your journey. It can inspire them to start their own, but it definitely would inspire them to sow a seed into your business because they are relatable. Your topic is relating to whatever they've previously been through. And it could be any which way. Like, me starting out young, that inspires women that, always wanted to start a business, but, they maybe had to go a different route. So it's just like, I need to, help her. I need to not even help her, but invest into her. Even just buying one product is an investment to that business. On the bottom of all my receipts, it says supporting a small dream, supporting a small business is supporting a big dream. So, telling your story, it definitely helps you stand out from the next person because no one's story is going to be the same. We all have stories, but they're all going to be uniquely different. So that is a huge, huge, huge key point in building a brand in such a crowded marketplace is telling your story. The next thing will be content marketing. Of course, I always talk about this in pods, creating valuable content that educates, entertains, and solves problems for your audiences. This helps position your brand in like it helps you position your brand as in like industry experts and builds trust, right? If you can create good marketing or good content, it makes your consumers feel like you know what you're doing, right? It's like it's believable. Because that's what social media is doing. So content marketing is a huge, huge part. I'm always saying it's like I'm trying to get better with it. But it builds that trust. It gives them a sense of security, especially with you constantly doing it. You being on top of it and you constantly creating content and you're selling the product, through social media. Like I said, they feel like they're getting you with that. but it definitely builds trust on top of your storytelling. And right now the world is such a thing where it's like I spoke on like maybe a couple of pods ago where I was saying, like doing the content marketing, but you are in the content, like not just creating content with other people, but yourself in it, like talking about your business and what you're selling. That's what I mean when I say like an industry expert, and it builds the trust from the content marketing, because you're creating valuable content that again educates, entertains, or it's going to solve a problem for your clients. So then the next thing is leverage social media, of course. Super important. I'm going to drill this in pretty much all the pods. Social media is a motherfucker. I am trying to get with it, y'all, because I'm going to get lost if I don't. Social media is the way of the world. Tech is moving in a way that is like you either with it or you not. So you have to be active on social media platforms that target your audience frequency. If your audience is always on Facebook, you need to be on Facebook making content. If your audience is always on Instagram, you need to be on Instagram making content. If your audience is always on TikTok, you need to be on TikTok making content. If they access all three of them, make content on all of them. You just have to do it. Engage with your followers, share content, use social advertising to expand your reach. Of course, run ads, invest into advertising on all these platforms. It works. Because I know that I always see people's content that I don't follow because they're running ads, right? And it makes sense. The next thing would be customer reviews and testimonials. Encourage satisfied customers to leave a review of your product. Leave testaments on other people's product. If you shop with me, hey, leave me a comment or a review on Google. I don't even force that, but I'm actually gonna start doing it, like giving out coupons for leaving Google reviews or whatever the case may be, because we need it. We truly appreciate it. So positive feedback can definitely influence potential customers' decisions. Just, knowing that you do good business, having a reputable business. I've already told you guys about collaboration and partners. So definitely seek partnerships and collaborations with complementary brands or influencers in your industry. This can expose your brand to new audiences. I've said this before. A lot of things is going to be repetitive on pods because you need to know this on different, it just makes sense. As an entrepreneur, a lot of things is just there. It's just, you just have to do it. So constantly repeating it, I'm sorry, it may sound like I'm saying the same thing, but I'm not. I'm touching bases on different things. Every pod, it might touch bases on most of the same stuff, but I'm also adding new things in, right? So we already know about collaboration and partnerships. We just had a pod that was called collaboration over competition. So yeah, make sure you are providing excellent customer service. That is so important. Outstanding customer service can be significant, okay? And it could definitely separate you in a crowded market. If you have like top tier customer service, baby, I know that I will go where I'm wanted, okay? Not where I'm tolerated. And that's just a fact. If I take pride in customer service. Like, I don't like my staff being like rude or mean to customers. Like, no. I come from hospitality, so I take pride in customer service. And I'm a person that likes good customer service, because at the end of the day, we're humans. No one wants to spend their money where, a person is being mean to them at all. So make sure you go above and beyond to meet your customers' needs. And I'm gonna say this, I've said it before, but common sense isn't common. Some shit should be like, but you gotta do it. You got to. So the next thing I'll definitely tell you guys is make sure you monitor and adapt. Okay, when I say that, continuously track the performance of your brand efforts. Like, analyze the metrics of your website traffic, your social media engagement, sales, to make informed adjustments. I know that for sure. I definitely look at my engagements on social media, like on Facebook. I'm trying to get back on Twitter. Not Twitter, TikTok. But definitely Instagram. I'm looking at my engagements. I'm always looking at my website analytics. Like, it's at the top of my app. So I'm always just trying to see, like, where are my customers at? Like, what do they stay? What pages they're staying on longer on the site? Like, I'm just doing a lot of things to do better. I always want to make adjustments. I'm trying to get better with time. And the more and more I talk on the pod to give tips and everything, just know that these are things that I'm also implying in my business as well. So yeah, I always tell you guys, you gotta grow with me and trust the process. So make sure you're innovative. You have to stay ahead of quote unquote your competition by being innovative with your products, your services, and the processes. So being a market leader can set your brand apart. If you're always ahead and you making fire content, you hopping on the trends, the sounds before anyone else, it sets you apart. It keeps you on top of your game. You bringing your A game 110%. That's super, super important. Like I cannot stress it more than enough. Social media is it's just such a social media is just so like it is like you had to be in it really in order to kind of like do really well. Like spectacular, I would say. Because you can still have a thriving business and it not be on social media. It really just depends on what type of business you're in. But me being in retail, I think it's super important, especially to get where you would want to go. You know what I'm saying? Like to get to a certain level, like social media is super important. Um, and that's just a fact. Yeah, that's just a fact. So the next thing would be community engagement. So make sure you are getting involved in your local or industry community. Um and when I say that, like go to events, network, mix up, get active, do giveaways, do toy drives, Christmas, like do what you can. Partner with other people that's doing things, like do what you can. Do what you can. Attend events, sponsor causes, participate in charitable um initiatives, like you do things to make it be like, this person actually cares. They're not just out here to make money. Um, have your name all over everything. Have your name everywhere. I've sponsored several things. Come 2024, I'm definitely gonna get more active. With doing more nonprofit things. I just want to start speaking publicly more about my journey. So I definitely want to get into that. I think I spoke about that on another pod. Me doing a pod is actually helping me get better with speaking. So I do want to start going speak in like some high schools a little bit more, some boys and girls clubs. Yeah, like I really just want to get more active in my youth. Um, so yeah, make sure you are doing your same thing. Because it can definitely enhance your brand's reputation. Um, I'm getting older and some things I just want to get more active and involved in, if we're gonna be quite honest. Like I just do. You knowing that it can enhance your brand's reputation. I think, it's super important that you stay consistent. You guys, consistency is key. I cannot stress that enough. Consistency is key. Whether it's your business, whether it's for self, whatever it is, consistency is key. And I'm gonna say this: people that goes to a 9 to 5, they are prepping you, because you have to consistently show up at work on time. Or you have to consistently, do your job accurately, right? You have to give great customer service. You get what I'm saying? It's like a lot of people don't see them, but jobs also, like, they prep you for how to run a business or how to be in a business. It's just you starting it and doing it, right? So definitely staying consistent. It ensures that your branding, your messaging and customer experience remain consistent across all points, all the touch points. You have to do that. You have to make sure you are doing that. Um, and I actually seen someone on Instagram recently say, like, your color schemes, like, if your logo is consistent, right? You have your logo, right? And then she was like, your color scheme, and then like the way you your certain fonts that you use. And then she was like, what I don't like is that I can't never find the stuff. Let me see if I find on Instagram to save things. Your color schemes, like she was running it, like the lady was like dropping so many gems, like um just the way you do, you don't have to say the same thing, but stay the same way, but being consistent with stuff. Like my color scheme is black and gold with a hint of green. So like my logo is black and gold. You go inside of my store, like you see gold everywhere. And black. right? And then one of my locations have like a green, like got greenery in it. So, and a green sofa. But then when you go to my other store, the walls are green. You see black furniture and black and gold fixtures. So I just feel like my branding is black gold with a hint of green. And that's the color of my website. It's black and gold. I just love those colors, gold and black with a hint of green is just beautiful all together. So, you know, staying consistent with everything, it just makes sense for a business, any business, and for self. All right. The next thing would be to adapt to market changes, y'all. And when I say that, you have to be flexible, y'all. You have to be willing to adapt to the changing market conditions, like, and your consumer preferences, because the market changes all the time, no matter what industry. Your industry is gonna always change. Um, like you could be in a food industry and you could be selling chicken wings, right? And whomever produces your chicken wings, whomever you get your chicken from, they're not being consistent because, they getting some chickens big, some chickens small. But at the same time, you've been having this nice sized chicken wing, your customer's going to feel like it's you not staying consistent with delivering a certain quality of chicken. So you just have to be able to adapt to the changing market. Adapt to your vendor, your producer, chicken fluctuation. Like, that's a real thing. That is a real thing. Same thing with like people that sell hair. Oh, my vendor had a bad batch. Like, you have to, as the producer, right? You have to be able to express that to your clients, but still, be still able to adapt to the market changes. But you have to be able to express that to your clientele so that they stay and they don't go and they don't think it's you. But being transparent and, like I said, storytelling definitely helps. Being able to adapt, I think that's a huge way to set yourself out apart from other people. Because some people, they can't, they can't adapt to the changes. You should, though, with anything. But that could definitely set you apart in the crowded marketplace, because soon as something change, you changing with it. Like right now we're in a recession, shit is so expensive. But if you're able to maintain your prices and not go up, then hey, that's gonna set you apart from your competition, because while everybody else have to go up, you're like, now I'm gonna keep my price the same. I'm gonna take a cut on my end. So certain things, different shit can definitely set you apart from other people. And like I said, the staying consistent, the community engagement, being innovative, staying ahead of your competition, like all these things will set you apart. But being able to adapt to the market changes is super important, y'all. So you have to make sure you stay willing and you stay flexible. Always be ready for a change, because the curveballs, they be coming. And especially in fashion, like in retail, trends, fashions change all the time. Like, it's always something new in. It's always something hot. It's like shit changes so quick. It's like, oh my God, it's so annoying. But, that's what it is. I be like, damn, can we just keep with something consistently for a little while? Like, I miss when, like we had a trend and it's just like it was in, and they just like did different shit with that. Like, we had that neon era. I love the neon era because it was like the neon colors, but it was also it was neon and then it was reflective. So it was like you was either wearing neon or you was wearing reflective, but you was mixing it up. But we had that had a nice run for a long time, for a very, very long time. So when we have stuff like that, it's like, shit is changing, the styles are changing, but the patterns are remaining the same. So the market is just like, the retail fashion is just like fucking, it's going berserk. Because today's something in and then tomorrow it's out. And it's just like, I hate that so much. It just makes it hard. And with that being said, I have to just stay flexible and I have to be willing to adapt to what is happening and the different changes. And then lastly, I'll say, make sure, and I've said this before, you seek feedback. Make sure you seek feedback from customers and use it to improve your brand. That's so important. Always be willing to take on feedback from people, especially your paying customers, because you don't know what it's like to buy from you or to have your product or to shop with you. Customer service is super, super important. So, getting the feedback from your clients on how you can improve your products or your services or your customer service, whatever it is, or your business is super important. Listening to your audience can definitely help you refine your offerings and your messaging. Because one customer might have this issue that you never knew, and like 25, other people or 100 other people had that same concern, but they never, spoke up about it, but you take it into consideration because this is a paying customer. Um, and like I really hope you guys enjoyed this. Like you guys are taking these notes, and I know, like I said before, some things gonna be repetitive, but for the most part, it's important. And like I said, that you can always, always, always build a brand in a crowded marketplace. Nothing is oversaturated. It could be crowded, but it's never oversaturated for you. If it's for you, it's for you. And I want you to know, God is not gonna give you the vision and not give you the customers. Like God not gonna put it in your heart that you're supposed to have this, and He's not gonna bring you the clients to maintain it, of sustain it. You know what I'm saying? Like you just gotta go from it. And once you start and you stay consistent, right? Before, like I said, staying consistent. You already set yourself up, right? You are already like 10 steps ahead of like 75% of other people because you started. But staying consistent and going forward with God have given you this vision and manifesting it and putting in the work. Let me tell you, God is almighty. If it's for you, it's going to be for you. You have to just be willing, and you have to be wanting it. You have to be consistent and diligent and motivated. And I always say, if you stay consistent, y'all, and you're not motivated, that consistency and those results will bring you back motivation. You will be back motivated as long as you're getting up and showing up and doing what you have to do. Staying consistent is going to bring you back your motivation. Trust me. I'm here telling you from a real person. Like, it's plenty days that I just be like, oh my God. But I stay consistent because it's not just me that's counting on me. There's other people that, is counting on Accessories Matter to make money. So, yeah. And I want you guys to remember that building a brand is like an ongoing process. Like, it's not something that is going to happen overnight. And I am 6+ years in, right? I'm actually about to make 6 years brick and mortar in exactly like a month. But I've established my business obviously before I had brick and mortar. But I'm still growing. I'm still building my brand. I'm by the grace of God, I beat the odds. I've made it over 5 years, being a single owner, solo owner. But it's an ongoing process, y'all. It takes time and a lot of effort to establish a strong presence in a crowded marketplace. So do not be discouraged. Do not give up. Just stay patient and be persistent in your efforts and in your craft. That's the best thing I could tell you guys. And again, I hope you guys enjoyed this pod. Till next time. Mwah. You've just listened to another episode of the PPP Podcast with Moneyy, the lounge for the poised, paid, and prospering woman. The PPP Podcast was recorded live in the studio with final editing before uploading. Subscribe today to the PPP Podcast for more incredible content. Don't miss the next episode of the PPP Podcast with Moneyy on all main streaming platforms.